So, Miss Walker, you've been rather quiet. I would have thought you'd have some questions for me. No?
I read that you used your prestige as an artist to spy on the Brown Shadow for the UK before and during the war. So, what is your real name then? Yunda Steinhoff or Colonel Blake?
Janice Blake is my name, Miss Walker. It's not the sort of name the Brown Shadow would have trusted, I'm sure you'll agree. So I took my mother's maiden name as an alias. Both my parents were diplomats from Austria, you see.
So you were some kind of double agent?
You make it sound more romantic than it really was, miss. But yes, I guess one could say so.
You mentioned the guest house. Are you that other guest I heard about?
Indeed, Miss Walker. It's actually Frau Wagner who told me about you. When she told me that you were looking for Dana, I knew I had to talk to you. Frau Wagner told me to call the academy, which I did, and the rector then redirected me towards the Bridge of Mists. And that's how I ended up wandering up and down it, asking about a mysterious American woman with a painting.
I guess you have new information about Dana for me?
I might very well indeed, Miss Walker, but what if you told me first what that little investigation of yours has dug up about Dana?
I discovered today that Dana became pregnant that summer of 37. Leon was the father. So her parents decided to hide her in a sanatorium outside town. Which, I assume, saved her from the night of the Brown Shadow pogroms in Vaghen.
You assume right, but her parents, on the other hand...
Yes, I heard they didn't make it.
Poor bastards, if you'll pardon my French.
I know Dana was very concerned about Leon being on the run after the death of that scientist, Herr Berger. I can't blame her. How could he survive through the winter, all alone in the mountains in a strange country?
How could he? That's exactly the right question, Miss Walker. That origin expedition in Baltayar. What a mess that was.
So, that's basically all I know. Can you tell me what happened to Dana after she left for the sanatorium to have her baby?
I must confess, Miss Walker, that I was afraid you might overlook some of the painful information here, which is clearly the case.
What do you mean?
Look, I think it would be best if we stay in this carriage until the very end. I know it is an odd request to make, but you really must see this for yourself.
Well,
Until then, I recommend you look outside the window. I guarantee it'll be worth your while. I'm sorry, Miss Walker, but chasing you around that bridge was more exhausting than I thought.
That's okay. I can wait.
Ah, nonsense. I know how eager you are to find out about Dana. So you go first. I'll meet you at section O8. I'll come meet you there.
Can't you just tell me what we're doing here?
I know it must seem cruel, speaking in riddles and keeping up all this mystery like a bloody fortune teller, but I promise you must see for yourself.
Okay then.
And don't forget, miss, section O8. Find it, and I'll meet you there.
Oof. Cold as hell here. How the heck do I get myself into these situations? These ruins, they look like they're from the Middle Ages or something. There's something sinister about all this.
Have no fear, Kate Walker. The sun's setting, and you're all alone in an isolated and derelict place. Statistically speaking, it is highly improbable that you'll meet anybody, good or bad.
Thank you, Oscar, but please do me a favor. Stop trying to reassure me, would you?
As you wish, Kate Walker.
This place gives me the creeps. Looks like... Oh, jeez.
What is it, Kate Walker?
This place, it's a cemetery, Oscar. I think Dana's... Oh my God, she must have...
Don't jump to hasty conclusions yet, Kate Walker. You should try and find that spot that Colonel Blake mentioned.
Section O8. Yes, Section O8 is over there. I don't have time to get lost in that maze. Section O8 is over there. I don't have time to get lost in that maze.
Is there anything that requires my assistance?
I'm gonna need you to be my eyes, Oscar.
Will do. Just call me whenever you need directions.
Can you guide me, Oscar? A cemetery. Oh my God. I can't figure out where to go.
Let's see.
The inscription has faded away. Oscar, I'm kind of lost here.
What would she do without me?
A dead end. I'll have to go back. Illegible. Section P. I need your eyes, Oscar.
All right, then.
I recognize some of the names here. Pretty interesting. But I should get back to what I was doing. Section F. Can you tell me where I am?
All right, all right.
Section B. I need help here.
I do the thinking, she does the walking. Fine by me.
Section D. Oscar?
Just leave me a second.
Impossible to get through. I'll have to find a way to go around it. I need directions, Oscar!
Reporting for duty, once again.
can't figure out where to go.
I do the thing.
Section O. That's it. Anna Rose, 1938. Gone to a better place. Oh no. What happened?
Dana's health had deteriorated at the sanatorium. Her coughing fits, the pregnancy, and all the stress about Leon being on the run out there in Baltayar. It was just too much for her to bear. The doctors had to put her to sleep before her delivery. There were complications, and when she woke up, her parents told her the terrible news. They had already buried the baby girl.
How come the Brown Shadow didn't go after Dana? They controlled Ostertal back then, right?
Oh, they would have eventually, believe me.
And afterwards?
Dana became sterile because of the complications during childbirth. So she remained at the sanatorium a few months more. She was devastated, poor darling.
That's how she survived the pogroms.
Yes, but that didn't mean she was safe.
So what happened afterwards?
Dana lost everything. Her parents, her baby, Leon. I think she would have just given up if I hadn't been there that day. But I had to go to London. Back then, I used to get invited every year or so to all kinds of artistic events. I could then make out my report to the British Secret Service without arousing the Brown Shadow's suspicion. So I took Dana with me to save her from them. Dana stayed in London for about 6 years. I found her a flat and a position with my real employer, the Foreign Office. She had no family, no friends, and in a way she had no life. She spent every minute she had in the office fighting in her own way against those who took everything from her. She went from one promotion to another, and soon she was among those in charge of coordinating all the resistance fighter groups pertaining to the different occupied countries of Europe.
All right, Dana. Focus. The Admiralty needs us to spot the enemy units on the map according to the reports they provided. Looks like I made a mistake on the map. Looks like I made a mistake on the map. That's it, I guess. Yunta!
Dana, darling, you can use my real name here, you know.
Sorry, but I just can't get used to it. For me, you'll always be Ginger Yunta.
Charming. I'm sure I have Lenny to thank for that, hmm? You were always too soft on that little brat.
Maybe. I guess. Anyway, what are you doing here? So glad to see you.
Only doing my duty, Dana, darling. A gallery invited me for a conference, so I jumped at the occasion to report back to our superiors. But it might be the last time for a while, I'm afraid. It's getting very hard to leave the occupied territories, even for a famous so-called pro-brown shadow artist like me. Anyway, how have you been since my last visit?
Well, with Leon being missing and probably lying dead somewhere in Baltear for the past 7 years, and what happened to my parents, you know how I feel. But it's all beginning to feel like a dream, Yunta. A distant dream. Especially her. And I don't want it to, you know, I don't want her, my sweet Anna, to just fade away. I'm sorry, Yunta, but could we please change the subject?
Of course, darling.
What is it?
More work for you, actually.
Oh?
Yes. The Allies need someone for an operation with the Resistance in occupied territory, and they think it should be you. But truth be told, Dana, I'm not sure that's such a good idea.
Why not? I did volunteer for field operations. They've trained me a lot for that.
I know, Dana, but this operation will happen in Ostertal, right next to Vaghen, actually.
I see.
Look, you don't need to answer me this minute. And no one would blame you if you declined the mission. We all know you don't only have happy memories of Vaghen. You still have time to think it over. But before you give your final answer, they need you to identify the resistance group that will execute the operation. It's all explained here. And of course it's all top secret stuff. So you must cross-reference the documents right here in this room. You'll have to use that thing over there.
But I don't know how to use it.
I'm sure that's easy for you. You have such a clever mind, my little virtuoso. I'll see you later.
Well, let's get cracking then. I guess I must apply the right setting for the pressure to remove that safety device. Compressed air. That must be for mixing the correct proportions of rarefied air in the system with the compressed air. Right. Let's see. Edelweiss? A coincidence. It must be a coincidence. The network leader's alias.
Oh, come here now, my pretty Edelweiss.
Don't call me that, you know I don't like it.
It's true, though. That's exactly what you are, my pretty Edelweiss.
Leon! He's alive. He's alive. He's alive! I need to... Oh, good grief. But how did he... Junta! Junta!
So Leon made it from Baltayar. But how?
I have no idea, miss. All I know is that he survived for almost a year in the mountains before coming back to Ostertal to set up the Edelweiss resistance group.
Which made Dana accept the mission you told her about back then, right?
Of course, she was given extra training and was dropped near Vaghen the following summer to carry it out. We'd better get going. It looks like the storm is coming.
You go first. I'll meet you at the tram station in a minute.
Of course. Take all the time you need.
The Undertakers must store their tools in it. It needs a key. But it doesn't look that strong, though. It needs a key. But it doesn't look that strong, though.
So, the bag, again.
I know. heck?
What is it, Kate Walker?
The gates, they just closed. Oh, there must be a mechanism to open them somewhere.
There always is, Kate Walker.
Can you bring that pickaxe closer, Oscar?
Of course, Kate Walker.
Looks like it's compatible with a bigger mechanism. Grim.
You seem disappointed, Kate Walker.
About what?
Well, correct me if I am wrong, but the fact that Dana Rose lost her baby and became sterile disproves your hypothesis that there can be a family link between you, doesn't it?
You're not wrong, Oscar, but I'm just stupidly over-optimistic. I wish I were like you, and not controlled by stupid emotions.
Nice of you to say, I guess.
Sorry, Oscar. That didn't come out so well.
Are you all right, Miss Walker? I'm very sorry to have brought you such bad news. This must have been quite a shock for you, wasn't it? Let's take the tram back to the guest house, Miss Walker.
What about that mission Dana led with Leon's resistance network?
It didn't turn out well, Miss Walker. Actually, that's the reason I left London to be here.
Oh?
Yes, just a second, Miss Walker. Where did I put it? What with this blasted storm? It's all over the papers. Here, have a look for yourself.
Storm. Excavation work at Devil's Pass has been interrupted. An unexpected storm has obliged the Council to remove the bodies trapped in the ice since the Second World War, and to move them to the Silberspiegel refuge. Those frozen bodies near the refuge. I heard about them just yesterday. Do you mean...
There has been no formal identification yet, Miss Walker.
But it's plausible that...
That Leon, at least, is among those bodies, yes.
Do you think Dana could be among the bodies?
I suppose it would be logical. It would explain why I never saw or heard of her again after the mission. Yet, according to some witnesses, Dana survived the war and indeed helped resistance fighters from Vaghen until the liberation. But if those testimonies were true, then Dana vanished after the war.
What happened to Leon?
According to the testimonies I've obtained, Leon was killed on that mission. The Foreign Office tasked Dana to lead an avalanche, apparently. I am one of the few people still alive to be able to identify him, which is why I'm here. If it weren't for this bloody storm, it would have been done today.
What about the other bodies?
According to the medical examiner's office, in all, 3 bodies have been extracted from the ice. The one presumed to be Leon, and 2 others, a man and a woman not yet identified.
I see.
Try to stay positive, Miss Walker. Only a visual identification will allow us to be certain. We can go as soon as this storm's over, probably tomorrow or the day after.
Right.
Miss Walker, we've arrived. But you're not coming, are you? Well, Miss Walker, you might not be related to Dana, but you bloody well certainly remind me of her.
So, instead of waiting for the storm to pass and for the official identification of the bodies, I might add, that were trapped in the ice for 6 decades, you, and by extension me, are going to climb up the mountain so you can identify them yourself.
I know, Oscar, I know. But I've just got to be sure. Because if one of those bodies turns out to be Dana, I...
We'll have no more trains to chase?
It looks like it's holding up, despite the storm. I don't think it's cold enough for fuel to freeze, but maybe someone should store it inside, just in case. No one here? It's not that late. I'd have thought Demoiselle Lenny would still be up.
I believe that old people retire early, don't they?
Demoiselle Lenny had tea with someone. Maybe with that alpinist guy. Another one of those cigars. A photo of Leon on a ship. Must have been taken during his return from Baltayar. But I still can't figure out how he survived the winter while he was on the run over there. Lenny also had that newspaper clipping about Leon. Looks like the old girls built a veritable shrine to him. There's something truly odd going on with Demoiselle Lenny. I really ought to have a little chat with her. But before, the bodies. They're all that count right now. I was hoping to find Demoiselle Lenny here. Too small for a door. Look, Oscar! A distant cousin!
What are you talking about, Kate Walker? And why are you laughing?
I'm not gonna get a decent photo in this.
What's this?
Oh, it's the frozen bodies from the Devil's Pass. The forensic team had to bring them up here because of the blizzard. But their generator shut off. I'm concerned it could damage the bodies.
Where's Demoiselle Lenny?
Oh, in her room, resting. She collapsed right after the forensic team left for Vaghen.
Jeez, what happened?
I'm pretty sure it has to do with the bodies. I mean, she was staring down in that direction for, well, all the time. And then, when they brought them up from the Devil's Pass, it was like she had seen a ghost or something. It was almost as if...
As if she knew the departed.
What?
Is someone taking care of her?
Oh yes, don't worry. She's with that hermit who brings her wood and provisions sometimes.
Okay, in that case, you go back inside. I'll take care of the generator.
Are you sure?
Positive, just go. Go on! I need to check something in the tent anyway. No, I don't think so. Nothing. Speak to me, Oscar!
This button must have turned on the generator, Kate Walker. But you still need to use the starter.
Okay! Thanks, Oscar! There must be something missing here. No.
Kate Walker, are you intentionally trying to damage me?
The gas tank's empty. I better find some fuel so I can turn on the generator.
Didn't you come across a jerry can earlier? Better go check it out.
Yes! Thanks, Oscar! Looks like this one's full. I should fill up the generator first. I'll come back later. The gas tank's empty. I better find some fuel so I can turn on the generator. Got the tank all filled. Now I just need to start the generator. Wrong one. Impossible. Got the tank all filled. Now I just need to start the generator. Locked, of course. Ugh, dry biscuits. Wonder how long they've been there. Must be to crank up the generator. Forensics Institute of Vaghen. An unidentified blonde woman in her 40s. That can't be Dana. Leon. It's as if he died yesterday. Like in those stories where people are found perfectly preserved in ice for decades after being carried away by an avalanche. Hard to believe he's been dead for over 60 years. That's quite amazing. And grim at the same time. That's not Dana in this body bag. That's it, Oscar. Dana's body is not among those found with Leon's. What a relief.
Now that that's cleared up, Kate Walker, maybe we should take shelter within somewhat more solid premises.
Right. We should go and check on Demoiselle Lenny in the refuge. I have a lot of new questions for her.
Demoiselle Lenny is resting upstairs.
Hello? Sir?
Are you sure you want to follow that individual, Kate Walker?
I don't think he looked threatening. Rather the opposite, Oscar. Sir? Are you there? What have we got here? This portrait, it looks like Leon. The style reminds me of that other portrait of him that he described in his letter from Baltayar. The one made by the...
Dana.
The Go-Rune.
No, not Dana. She's old, like me.
I'm Kate. Kate Walker.
Kate Walker.
Yes. And you're the one that Leon saved during the Origin expedition a long time ago, aren't you?
Yes.
The Goran from Baltayar. Well, you've come a long way, Mr.
Ludwig. Ludwig Hardtack.
Well, Mr. Ludwig, if you don't mind my asking, what happened when you and Leon returned to Ostertal to join the resistance fighters? And how did you meet Dana?
Leon. My brother.
These drawings, they're moments from your life, aren't they? Is that when you met Dana?
No.
Looks like a river. And that little figure looks wounded. Is that you when you met Leon and the scientist from the Origin expedition?
Yes.
That person in the middle of the others was in the other paintings. That's Leon, isn't it?
Yes. Leon.
That group. Is it your tribe, Mr. Ludwig?
Yeah.
So you all live together in a cave in Baltayar? Right. So you and your tribe took Leon in after the death of Reinhard Berger in 1937. That's how he was able to survive the winter in the mountains. Then you went with Leon when he decided to return to Vaghen to join the resistance fighters?
Mm-hmm.
These combat scenes, are they of the liberation of Vaghen?
Before, during resistance.
The blonde girl with you and Leon can't be Lenny, right?
Yes, Lenny, my sister.
I knew Lenny was a resistance fighter, but she never told me she fought alongside Leon, let alone you. She even went as far as saying that she never saw Leon again after 1937, when they all met at the refuge with Dana. Why would she hide something so important?
Time to check on Lenny. Come, Kate Walker.
This sketchbook. I think it was Leon's. This symbol looks like a warning. Some kind of map. Looks like the Devil Pass to me. Could all those marks indicate where the Gorons searched for Leon's body? These must be plans for secret operations. Must have been some kind of a headquarters here. Maybe for local resistance fighters such as Leon and his group. Weapons. Must have been here since the war, I guess. Detonating wire, just like in the old movies. So much happened to the Gorun since Leon found him in Baltayar. What a life he had. But there are still so many gray areas. I need to learn more from Demoiselle Lenny now. It's locked. It's locked.
Ah, Fräulein. I knew you would be back eventually. Judging by your face, you and Ludwig already met.
We have. And it raised a lot of questions about you. About what you said to me the first time we met, and about what you didn't say.
Of course. You can run from your past, but never truly escape it. But you already know that. Don't you, Fräulein?
I want to understand Mademoiselle Lenny. I'd like to understand why you didn't tell me about Leon's death, about fighting with him in the Resistance, and about the gore, and about Mr. Ludwig. It would have saved us both so much time and effort.
Because it would have only begged questions. Questions which lead to events that I've never spoken about to anyone. Not even to you, dear Ludwig.
Lenny.
Still, I suppose it doesn't matter now. Perhaps it's time I confess my crime.
What are you talking about?
It was the best years of my life. Joining the Resistance, unlike my coward of a father, and fighting alongside Leon after he miraculously got back from Baltayar with Ludwig. It gave me purpose.